What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. The NFL draft is right around the corner, less than 2 weeks away. So what we're going to be doing today is going through the potential landing spots for the running back class here in 2025. Talk about how I would feel if any of these rookies got drafted by any of these teams and rank them in a tier list from elite all the way down to trash landing spots, just based on a few variables: coaching, scheme, overall roster talent, depth charts, and most importantly, opportunity for these potential rookies to step in and get some work from day one. So without wasting any more time, let's hop right into today's video and let's start talking about these landing spots. All right, so as you can see, I got the tier maker pulled up on the screen. We got 7 tiers for the overall tier rankings here in today's video. Obviously, I don't need to explain it to you. It should be pretty self-explanatory, but elite is the very top, trash is the very bottom, and average is just a average landing spot. This should be self-explanatory. If you need me to explain that, I'm sorry, maybe this isn't the video for you. But let's just go on to our first team. We're going to be kicking it with the San Francisco 49ers. I do have them coming in the bad category. Now, hear me out. I think the 49ers right now, with Christian McCaffrey, with this contract, he is still the guy. Whether you think he is healthy or not, that's up to you, but he is still the guy from an opportunity standpoint. Isaac Grendo obviously proved himself last year. He is the running back 2 in this backfield, and they did trade Jordan Mason, so there is opportunity maybe for them to draft a guy on day 3. Kyle Shanahan, he loves his running back, so I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to get in on this year's draft class and have another guy come in just to be a depth piece on this roster. But whoever does come in, it's not going to be a day 1 guy. It's not going to be a day 2 guy. I think that would be very surprising from a draft capital standpoint from the 49ers. And that said, I think this is a bad landing spot because you're probably going to be working behind both of those guys in Christian McCaffrey and Isaac Grendo. So let's move on to the next team. The next team for me is going to be the Chicago Bears. They come in as a good landing spot for me. Now, obviously, DeAndre Swift is currently on the roster. Ben Johnson has coached DeAndre Swift in the past, and obviously they were traded away as soon as they were working together. So he went to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now he's with the Bears, and the Bears, they've been in on Ashton Genty. They've been talking about how much they like him, potentially wanted to use the 10th overall pick on him. They want to find their Jahmyr Gibbs in this Ben Johnson offense. This is an improved offensive line. Even if it's not Genty, I do think this is a team that could be in on Henderson, Omarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson, any of these other guys, and there could be opportunity for a rookie running back to come in on day 2, even if it's not day 1, and have immediate opportunity, because I think that they want to use DeAndre Swift as a potential secondary piece in this offense and not as the primary guy. So they are going to be looking for their franchise running back for the next couple of seasons here. Let's move on to the next team. The next team is the Cincinnati Bengals, and I currently have them sitting in the average tier. Right now, the depth chart is Chase Brown, Zach Moss, Samaje Perine, who they went out and got this offseason. Zach Moss has 1 year left in his deal. He didn't play too much last year because of the injury. I think he could potentially even just be a June 1st cut. So to me, it's really just Chase Brown. And if you have Chase Brown on your fantasy rosters, I would be a little bit nervous because the Bengals have been using some of their top 30 visits on some running backs like Quinshon Judkins and some of these other guys. So I do think that they want to bring in another running back. I have expressed that I felt like the Bengals were going to bring in another running back this offseason. A lot of times people were like, why would they do that? They have Chase Brown. Chase Brown to me is a very, very solid running back. He is not a bell cow. So Chase Brown, he does make me a little bit nervous right now if you have him. The Bengals landing spot though should be average because Chase Brown is good enough that you're not going to keep him off of the football field even if you draft a running back. So it is probably going to be a timeshare between the two. It's going to be a decent landing spot, not a great landing spot. I think that's why it's going to fall here in the average tier. Let's go to the next team. The next team is going to be the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to also put them in the bad category. Right now, James Cook, last year of his deal, looking for a contract extension, but it is no secret that when James Cook is on the field for the Buffalo Bills, he is their guy. They've been using him pretty heavily. Ray Davis and Ty Johnson backing him up. They brought back Ty Johnson this offseason. I think Ray Davis did fine last year when filling in. If you bring a guy into this backfield, he is a depth piece behind James Cook. I do think that James Cook eventually gets the contract that he wants from the Buffalo Bills. I don't think he hits the open market. That's just a bold prediction for me. So overall, I do think this is a bad landing spot for a rookie to come in because I don't think that there's going to be a lot of opportunities right away. Moving on to the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are our first team that I'm going to put in the elite category. They moved on from Javonte Williams. Right now, it's just Jaleel McLaughlin and Audric Estime on the roster. Neither of those guys give you confidence in running the football. Sean Payton wants to find his next Alvin Kamara. Whoever comes in here is going to be an absolute fantasy football stud. I think they're going to use a draft pick early on a running back. I don't know if it's going to be first round. I don't think it's going to be first round, but it's going to be early day 2. And if they do get that, I am praying it's Trevion Henderson because this is a smash spot for Henderson. And this is an elite landing spot for any rookie running back, whoever it may be. Let's go to the next team. Next team is going to be the Cleveland Browns. I'm moving them to the great category. Right now, it's just Jerome Ford on the roster. roster. It is also one more year for Jerome Ford's contract, and then there really shouldn't be anybody left on this roster. I think this is a great landing spot, only because I think the quarterback play and the offense overall will not be as good as the Denver Broncos were in that elite category. Right now, we're looking at Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco being the leaders of this offense. Obviously, we hope that they can change that, get somebody else in here as well, but at the end of the day, right now, they're going to bring somebody in at the running back position, and he's going to run the hell out of this football. I think Hampton would be a great fit here, but I don't know how good the offense is going to be, but the opportunities are going to be incredible for them. Great landing spot, I still think, nonetheless. Moving on to Tampa Bay, we're going to talk about the Buccaneers. I'm putting them in the bad category as well. This is pretty self-explanatory. Bucky Irving, Rachaad White, Sean Tucker, all of these guys on the roster, they already have talent at the running back position. They don't necessarily need another running back. Bucky Irving is their guy. Rachaad White is their change of pace guy. Sean Tucker, obviously a depth piece for them. Rachaad White and Sean Tucker both only have 1-year deals, but I don't think that they're going to be bringing in another guy early on to make a difference in this roster. And like I said, it is Bucky Irving's team in the meantime. Let's go to the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals, I'm putting them in the mid category. They have James Conner and they have Trey Benson. James Conner a little bit older, but they just gave him a contract extension. Trey Benson last year they drafted to be maybe the heir apparent to James Conner. They've talked him up a little bit this offseason. Maybe he's going to see some more opportunities. I don't expect them to go get a running back early, and if they do get a running back in this year's draft, I think it's to be a complementary piece behind those other two options. I still think that they believe in Trey Benson, and obviously they still believe in James Conner. Let's go to the next team. The next team is the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm putting them in the great category. Good offensive line, good run scheme, Greg Roman being there, Jim Harbaugh being there, obviously. The only thing is Najee Harris is there on a 1-year deal. However, like I said, 1-year deal, so there is a chance that they could get a guy and he could eventually become the guy over the course of time. Najee hasn't necessarily been elite in his career for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so this is kind of a prove-it year for Najee Harris. I'm putting him great. There's going to be a little bit less day one opportunities, but there's room for growth here, so I do think this is still one of the best landing spots for a rookie running back. Let's go to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to put the Kansas City Chiefs in the good category. Now, hear me out, because they do have a group of guys with Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, and Elijah Mitchell, who they brought over this offseason. However, all of these guys only have 1 year left on their contract. None of these guys are under contract going into next season. I think Pacheco, Hunt, Mitchell, it's kind of a mix of guys that have overperformed over the course of their career, obviously Pacheco being a 7th round pick, and older veterans and guys like Kareem Hunt. I think at the end of the day, they are going to be looking for a difference maker, and I don't think that they're going to use a day 1 pick, and I don't think that they're going to use an early day 2 pick on a running back. But if they do bring a running back into this backfield, I think that they could easily become the number 2 guy behind Pacheco for this year, and if they choose not to pay Pacheco, they could be the guy going into the next season. So there's a couple more hurdles, but I think it's a good team and good opportunity potentially in the future here in Kansas City for a running back. Let's go to the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts, I'm throwing them in average. Right now, Jonathan Taylor is their guy. That is not changing. The only reason why they are average is because behind them, it is only Khalil Herbert. I think there's a chance for a rookie to come in and be the handcuff to Jonathan Taylor, be the running back 2 in this offense. How good is that for you in fantasy? I don't know. I think it just might be a handcuff role, so we are going to put them in average, but I do think that there's a chance that they do go get a guy, just because I don't know how much they actually believe in Khalil Herbert here in Indianapolis. Let's go to the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders we're throwing in the good category. Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler are the running backs on the roster, both of them on 1-year deals. B-Rob has been fine, not great. Austin Eckler, obviously the end of his career. With Jaden Daniels at the helm here in Washington, a new coaching staff, obviously all of the improvements that they made last year to this Washington Commanders team, they could be looking for some extra juice in the running back room, and I think there is a chance that a running back could come in and be a better fit for this offense than Brian Robinson has been over the last couple of years. Now, I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys in the elite category there with the Denver Broncos. Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders brought in this offseason. They lose Rico Dowdle. Neither of those guys, Javonte or Sanders, am I worried about for the long-term effects of this roster. I think they could bring a rookie running back in here and he could be their guy immediately. I think they should probably use an earlier pick on one, a day 2 pick, if they could go get one. I think that would be great for a running back, and I think they could end up drafting the running back of their future here in Dallas. Jerry Jones maybe finds his next Ezekiel Elliott. There probably won't be another Ezekiel Elliott, but he can go get his running back that can be like Zeke, and you know Jerry Jones is going to treat somebody that he drafts very highly like that. So let's go on to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, I'm going to throw them in average. Now, they have Devon Achane and Jalen Wright. I think that's kind of the running back duo that they're going to be moving forward with. That was kind of the plan, I think, when they drafted Wright last year, with Raheem Mostert potentially leaving and Wright filling in for the Mostert role. Now, they did bring in Alexander Mattison on a one-year deal as another depth piece. That makes me kind of teeter between mid and average, because I don't know if they even bring in another guy to potentially be in this depth chart. But at the end of the day, if any running back is in this system here in Miami, they're probably going to be pretty decent. This is one of the best running back systems in the NFL. So I'm going to keep it average, but it could be mid, definitely for sure, with the Madison depth signing. Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to have them as the first team in the trash category. Obviously, Saquon Barkley is the guy. They paid Saquon Barkley. They brought in A.J. Dillon this offseason, and they have Will Shipley. Yes, they can add another running back, but if you add another running back, they are not overtaking Saquon Barkley. There will be very minimal, if any, opportunities for a running back here in Philly. Let's go to the Atlanta Falcons. I also think they should be in the trash category as well. Bijan Robinson, not as good as Saquon Barkley, but obviously he was drafted to be the next Saquon Barkley type of prospect. He's going to get a lot of usage, and their backup in Tyler Algier is still a very solid running back at the NFL level. He has one more year left on his contract, so I don't know if they need another running back here this year. Maybe they kind of get one a year in advance, but at the end of the day, it's Bijan Robinson's team. This is not a great landing spot for a rookie running back. Go to the New York Giants. The New York Giants, I'm going to put them in the good category. Obviously, everybody likes Tyrone Tracy Jr. He broke out last year as a late round pick in our rookie drafts, and he did fine when he was given the opportunities. Other than him, it's Devin Singletary in this backfield, but Tyrone Tracy is not the guy of the future. He just reeks of the Phillip Lindsays and the James Robinsons and those kind of day three guys that come out for a year or two in previous seasons. So it's only a matter of time before they replace him. Do they replace him this offseason? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they do. But if they do, this is a decent landing spot for a rookie running back. Let's go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are going to be mid. Now, I do have Travis Etienne here still with one more year left in the deal, and Tank Bigsby still on the roster. Those are going to be the two guys that I think they move forward with. There is a chance that they move on from Travis Etienne here sometime soon. Then they're probably going to be looking at a running back. Maybe they go get one with Liam Cohen this offseason, but I just don't think that that is a need that they need to go address right away with the current depth chart at the running back position here on this team. So let's move on to the New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets, I am going to put them in the bad category. This is a team that has Breece Hall, who still has one more year left in his deal, Braylon Allen that they drafted last year, and Isaiah Davis as well. So there's definitely a lot of depth on this roster at the running back position. Whether you believe that Breece is going to be the long-term answer for them or not, and whether he's going to get the extension or not, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, right now, they don't have a need for it. And as long as Breece Hall is on this roster, keep that in note, as long as Breece Hall is on this roster, it will be a bad landing spot. If Breece leaves this roster at some point in time, there's going to be a lot of opportunities on the table, but for now, it is a bad landing spot. Now, moving on to the Detroit Lions, we are also going to throw them in the trash category. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, these are the two running backs that they have. These are the only two that they need. Anybody else, any rookie that comes into this depth chart, not going to see opportunities. Those are their guys. Let's go to the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers, I am going to throw them in the mid category. Josh Jacobs was paid to be their bell cow. They did use him as a bell cow, and they drafted Marshawn Lloyd last year. Obviously, Lloyd didn't play too much because he was injured. I think those are still the two guys that they're going to move forward with this year, Jacobs and Lloyd, and I don't know if there's going to be many opportunities behind those guys. I don't even know if there's going to be many opportunities for Lloyd behind Jacobs the way that they used him in 2024. Let's go to the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, I am also throwing in the mid category. Right now, their depth chart of Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle that they brought in on a one-year deal, and Jonathan Brooks. Obviously, Brooks isn't going to play too much this year. I think that's why Rico Dowdle was brought in on the 1 year, but Chuba Hubbard, they gave him the extension. I think they really like him. Dave Canales really likes him, and I don't see them changing this running back room too much in the NFL draft. So let's go on to the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, I'm going to put in the good category. Now, Ramondre Stevenson, obviously on this depth chart with Antonio Gibson as well. Neither of these guys, I think, are the guy in this running back room. Stevenson at times last year was getting benched, and they were starting Gibson, but they weren't really starting Gibson because they didn't love Gibson, and then they went back to Ramondre. I don't think that they have a running back in this backfield that they love. I know that they paid Stevenson that contract. Obviously, a new head coach in town, and Mike Vrabel did not choose to do that for Stevenson, so he could be looking for a new running back to come in and play behind Drake May. I think this is a good fit for a rookie running back to come in and get some opportunities. Let's go to the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to put them all the way up in the great category, and this is mainly due to the depth chart. The depth chart in Las Vegas might be one of the worst in the NFL. Zamir White with 1 year left in his deal, Raheem Mostert 1 year left in his deal, Dylan Lawabe and Sincere McCormick. None of these guys are going to be difference makers, and none of these guys scream you want to give them the football a ton in the NFL at this point in their careers. I think you bring a guy in, They've talked about Ashton Genty potentially being a rumored piece to come in for the Raiders. Even if it's not him, Quinshon Judkins, one of these other guys in the early second round would be great. They can run the damn football in the Pete Carroll era here in Las Vegas for the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's go to the Rams. The Rams I'm going to put in the bad category. Now, the reason why the Rams are bad is obviously Kyren Williams, and then last year they drafted Blake Corum as well. Kyren only has 1 year left on his deal. They've talked about wanting to potentially get him an extension. I think he's earned it at this point. Sean McVay definitely feels like he's earned it, and he's given the trust to Kyren Williams when he's healthy to give him the football a ton. So Kyren Williams, Blake Corum, not a lot of opportunities for a rookie to come in and steal any of those opportunities from any of these other guys, especially because I don't believe that they're going to be using a top 3 round pick on a running back. Let's go to the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens I'm going to be putting in the average category. Now, the reason why is because Derrick Henry, 1 year left on his deal, obviously a lot older at the NFL level, played very good last year for the Baltimore Ravens, but behind him it's been Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell. There was some buzz for Keaton Mitchell a year ago. Obviously he tore the ACL and he didn't play too much. I think they could bring in another guy behind Derrick Henry and definitely give him some opportunities for some touches. They're definitely not going to be a lot of opportunities when Derrick Henry is healthy and still running the football for the Ravens, but if Henry were to ever go down, this could be the heir apparent. They could definitely draft Derrick Henry's heir apparent in this year's draft, and that's why I would give it an average landing spot for now, just based on limited opportunities, but it has the potential to grow long term if something were to happen to Henry, or if Henry just ages out and doesn't end up playing like the same Derrick Henry that we've known from years past. But that's a dangerous game because people have said that for 10 years, it feels like at this point. So let's go into the next team. I'm going to go to the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints I'm going to put in the average category as well. Same thing, older running back and Alvin Kamara, guys behind them and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Kendre Miller. You could be looking at them drafting the heir apparent to Alvin Kamara. If they get Alvin Kamara as next guy, you definitely feel a little bit more comfortable with the opportunities once Alvin Kamara is no longer on this roster. But at the end of the day, this is not a great team. Derek Carr is likely not going to play for the majority of the 2025 season. Who's going to be quarterback? Is it Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener, maybe a guy like Shedeur Sanders at 9? I don't know. It doesn't look like this team is trending in the right direction, and having the running back on this roster as the secondary piece behind Alvin Kamara while we're waiting for them to earn touches may not be very fruitful for fantasy, at least in 2025. Let's go to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are a team that I'm going to be putting in the bad category. Right now, you got Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. That's probably one of the better running back duos in the NFL at this point. Obviously, everybody likes Zach Charbonnet and everybody likes Kenneth Walker as well. Walker only has 1 year left on his deal. Is he going to get the extension? I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, if you bring a rookie running back into this situation, they're going to be playing third string behind those other two guys, and I don't think that that's very beneficial for us in fantasy early on in these rookie running backs' careers. Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have another team here in the elite category. Obviously, Jaylen Warren is the guy for now. He has 1 year left on his deal after getting that second round tender in free agency this offseason. Behind him, Kenneth Gainwell, Cordero Patterson. None of these guys wow you. If you bring a guy in early day 2, like I said, Hampton, Judkins, Henderson, any of these guys, they're going to get a ton of work in an Arthur Smith offense, and they're going to be very, very good for fantasy football. This is a smash landing spot. Let's go to the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans, I'm going to put as average. Right now, Joe Mixon is the bell cow of this offense. I think they like what Joe Mixon did for them last year, but Dameon Pierce only has 1 year left in his deal. I think there's a chance that you have a rookie running back come in, be the guy behind Joe Mixon as the RB2, kind of like I mentioned with the Baltimore Ravens and the New Orleans Saints. You see there's kind of a theme there where you're drafting the next guy to replace the old guy eventually. Just may not be right now, so I think you get the heir apparent to Joe Mixon in Houston, and that's why this landing spot is average. The offensive line, though, also is going to be pretty bad in Houston, at least the way that I'm projecting it right now, so that is definitely worrisome when it comes to running back production. Let's go to the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to put them in mid. Obviously, Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, they've paid Tony Pollard to come in here and be with Tajay. It just feels like a cluster, you know what, of running back production here. Neither guy is great, neither guy is bad. I think they're just going to keep spelling these two mediocre running backs over and over and over and over again, and they don't necessarily need to use a pick on a rookie running back. They're probably going to be using some draft picks on a rookie quarterback and a rookie wide receiver in this year's class. So yeah, they're probably not going to be looking at the running back position. And now let's go to the last and final team. I'm going to the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings, they are going to be coming in as mid. Now, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, it sounds like this is the 1-2 punch that Minnesota wants to go with. Could they bring in a guy? Definitely. It may probably likely be a day 3 guy, and I don't know if they're going to use them more than the other 2 guys on the roster, so they do come in as mid. But overall, that's kind of how I'm viewing these landing spots for the 2025 NFL draft. Obviously, the top landing spots being the Broncos, Cowboys, Steelers, and the Browns, Chargers, Raiders. So there you have it, folks. That is how I am viewing the potential landing spots for the 2025 rookie running back class. We're going to do another video just like this one for the wide receivers here on Wednesday this week, so make sure you guys guys are subscribed to the channel and tune in for that one. If you like today's content, make sure you hit the like button. That is the best way to show the channel some support. And if you agree or disagree with something that I said here in today's video, let me know in the comments down below. That definitely helps us out in the algorithm as well. So make sure you go hit us up in the comments. We'd love to chat with you guys down there. Last but not least, make sure you join our free Discord. We do have a free Discord linked in the description, helping you guys with your Dynasty fantasy football teams 24/7, 365. But with all of that being said, I have nothing else for you guys today. So I will see you on our next episode. But until then, peace out.